The year is 2025, and the most important agreement in modern economic history just expired. And if you're not paying attention, you're about to watch your savings, your paycheck, and your entire standard of living collapse in real time. For 50 years, every barrel of oil sold on Earth was priced in US dollars. Every country needed dollars to buy energy. That created artificial demand for American currency that made the United States the most powerful nation on Earth, even though we produce almost nothing and owe everyone everything. But that system just ended, and the media isn't telling you. Your politicians aren't warning you. Because if you knew what was actually happening, you'd understand that the America you grew up in is already gone. The petrodollar agreement dies in 2025. And when it dies, the dollar's global dominance dies with it. Most people won't see it coming, but the smart money already moved. They're in gold, farmland, and foreign assets. They understand what every empire that debased its currency learned the hard way. The money you're holding, it's only worth what other people believe it's worth. And that belief is breaking right now. Let me tell you a story about how we got here. Because this didn't start in 2025. It started in 1971. August 15th, 1971, Richard Nixon appears on television and tells the world that the United States is temporarily closing the gold window. Translation? The dollar is no longer backed by gold, it's just paper. A promise. And Nixon's administration knew that was a problem. Because if the dollar is just paper, why would anyone accept it? Why would foreign governments hold dollars in their reserves? Why would global trade be conducted in a currency backed by nothing? The answer came 3 years later. In 1974, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger made a deal with Saudi Arabia. Simple deal, brilliant deal, evil deal. Here's how it worked. Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, would agree to price all of their oil exclusively in US dollars. No euros, no yen, no gold, dollars. And in exchange, the United States would provide military protection to the Saudi regime, sell them weapons, and guarantee their security against regional threats like Iran and Iraq. But here's the key. That agreement wasn't just with Saudi Arabia. Through OPEC, the deal extended to nearly every major oil-producing nation on Earth. Venezuela, Nigeria, UAE, Kuwait, all of them. Oil for dollars. Dollars for oil. This created something unprecedented in history. Artificial demand for US currency. Because if you're Japan and you need to import oil, you first need to buy dollars. If you're Germany and you need to fuel your economy, you need dollars. If you're China and you're building factories, you need dollars first. This meant the United States could print unlimited amounts of money, run massive trade deficits, rack up trillions in debt, and never face consequences, because the world needed dollars to function. We exported inflation, we imported goods, and everyone else paid for it. The petrodollar system wasn't just an agreement, it was the foundation of American power, more important than the military, more important than technology, because control of global currency meant control of global trade, and control of global trade meant control of everything. For 50 years, this system worked. The dollar remained the world's reserve currency, not because of gold backing or economic strength, but because of oil. Every country held dollars in reserve. Every central bank bought US Treasury bonds. And America got to borrow unlimited amounts at artificially low interest rates because the world needed a safe place to park their dollars. But here's what nobody told you. That agreement had an expiration date, and we just hit it. In 2023, Saudi Arabia quietly announced they would not renew the petrodollar agreement. It wasn't front page news. It wasn't on CNN. Most Americans have no idea it even happened. But in financial circles, in central banks, in the meetings that actually matter, everyone knows. The foundation just cracked. And once a currency system built on confidence starts to crack, the collapse accelerates fast. Saudi Arabia isn't stupid. They've been preparing for this for years. They've been diversifying, building relationships with China, Russia, and India. In 2023, they joined BRICS, the economic alliance specifically designed to challenge dollar dominance. They're now accepting yuan for oil sales to China. They're discussing rupees for sales to India. They're even talking about pricing oil in a basket of currencies, or going back to gold-backed settlements. Every move is designed to reduce dependence on the dollar, and they're not alone. Let me give you the numbers because the scale of what's happening is staggering. In 2000, roughly 73% of global foreign exchange reserves were held in US dollars. By 2020, that had dropped to 59%. And in 2024, under 55%. That might not sound dramatic, but in the world of reserve currencies, it's a free fall. Central banks are diversifying out of dollars at the fastest pace since World War II. China has reduced its US Treasury holdings by over $300 billion since 2021. Russia dumped nearly all of its dollar reserves after 2014 sanctions and has been stockpiling gold instead. India is conducting trade in rupees and bypassing the dollar entirely. Brazil and Argentina are settling trade in their own currencies. Even France, a supposed ally, has been reducing dollar exposure. The world is waking up to what should have been obvious all along. The emperor has no clothes. The dollar is backed by nothing except the promise that other people will keep accepting it. And when that promise breaks, the value evaporates. Here's where it gets personal. Because this isn't just about geopolitics or central banks.